Okay, so it's been about 12 hours since we put our legs on salt to cure them, and so now it's time to get rid of that salt and make duck confit. So we had them just gently weighted down in the refrigerator. And you can see they've gotten a little bit dry, just a little bit there. And so some recipes are going to call for rinsing the legs underwater. I don't actually like to do that. I prefer to just rub the salt off. Our goal here has been to extract water from the duck legs. I don't see any reason to rinse them underwater. So just take a clean towel and rub off all the spices and all the salt that you can see. In this case, we didn't put a ton because we're not really trying to make preserved duck confit that we're going to be putting in our root cellar for an extended period of time. We're actually just going to use this in the next few days. All right, so we wipe off all the salt, and then this is a great time for your Dutch oven or your Le Creuset, any of those sorts of things. We want a nice, heavy pot that's going to be able to hold a low temperature without browning or anything like that. So, all right, we have our other duck leg here, and again, we're just going to rub off all these spices, the thyme, the garlic we put on last night. Get off all that salt. So you can see, even though the recipe uses about an ounce of salt per pound, in the end, really very little of it ends up in the actual dish. But make no mistake, confit should have a little bit of salt flavor to it. It should be fairly salty. Okay, so this is what we want. We want them to fit nicely in the pot in a single layer like this, but with a little bit of space so that they have room to cook. Okay, so just keep our station clean while we're working. And so we have our duck fat that we rendered. Beautiful. So if you did this in advance and it's cold, don't worry about it. Just scoop the cold duck fat, put it on top of the duck, pop it in the oven. You're going to be just fine. Okay, but for now, we're going to go ahead. We're just going to pour this warm duck fat right over the top of it. And we want to completely submerge the legs. This is key. All right, we have just barely enough, but as those legs cook, they're actually going to render some more fat. So they'll be just fine like that. So at this point, I've got my oven preheated to 200 degrees. The key with confit is low and slow, right? Low and slow is the way to go. So 200 degrees, even as low as 190 degrees if your oven will go that low. All right, we're gonna pop it in the oven, and these are gonna take 2 or 3 hours, really. And we'll show you a little later some of the telltale signs to know that the duck is done.